Hi guys, Sab here from Carlist, and today we have the 2023 Mazda CX-30, but this time around it's a bit different because it is now CKD, meaning that it's locally assembled here in Kulim Kedah. Jom, I'll show you. So since right now it's a CKD model, the price difference between this one and the CBU model is between 13,000 to 17,000 ringgit cheaper. So you have four variants priced between 128,000 ringgit to 156,000 ringgit, and this one is 146,000 ringgit because this one is the High Plus variant, one variant below the range topping High Plus Premium. So when it comes to the exterior for the Mazda CX-30, there's not really a big difference between the CBU and CKD, but yeah, let's go through it. The first thing that I really like about the CX-30 is the proportions of the balance when it comes to the exterior design. Now, I really like Mazda SUVs, especially the CX-5, but the CX-30 with the sleek headlights up front as well as the LED lights at the back, I think is really balanced. You know, you can find the same kind of LED lights in Mazda's other SUVs, the bigger ones, but they might look a bit awkward in my opinion. But this one on the Mazda CX-30 really looks very balanced, really well. Now, the second thing that I really like about the Mazda CX-30 is the exterior color option. Now, just by looking at the color, I don't think you will be able to tell what is the name of the color, but it is called Platinum Quartz. It's like a sand khaki type of feel, but I think it looks really nice on the Mazda CX-30, especially with the big body cladding, the black cladding on the side profile of the car. So some of you might feel that it's a bit awkward, but I think it's really unique. It really stands out amongst the crowd, and yeah, it's very balanced. Like I said before, it's really balanced from front to rear, especially when it's riding on the 18-inch wheels. So we are at the back of the Mazda CX-30, and as I've said before, it looks a bit more proportionate compared to the bigger Mazda SUVs in the current lineup right now. So the lights look really sleek. The only issue that I have, but it's a very small issue, is the choice of font for the CX-30. I think it looks a bit different. I mean, it doesn't look bad, it just looks a bit different in my eyes right now. I think I prefer the font that they use for the CX-5 a lot more compared to this one, but it's a small detail that you can overcome lah. But the overall balance of it, it looks really nice. And when you're at the back, yeah, you can also get a decent boot space of around 430 liters. So yeah, okay, not the best, but okay. Okay, so we're now inside the Mazda CX-30, and as you would expect from any of the Mazda SUVs in Malaysia right now, everything is very sleek. It looks very minimalist, but at the same time very balanced. I like how they've designed the driver's side of things. It's very proportionate, very nicely balanced, and very driver focused. So you won't be able to get distracted when it comes to driving the Mazda CX-30. You have soft materials or soft touch materials everywhere, and yeah, it's a lot more comfortable than you would think. Some people might feel that it's a bit cramped, but I think once you're inside, it shouldn't feel as bad, because from what I'm feeling right now, the CX-30 feels really good inside the car. Okay, there is however one small issue, but I think this is very subjective. It's an issue just that I face. The 8.8-inch screen when it comes to the infotainment is very nicely designed. I think the colors are done right, but it's not a touch screen, and it's for good reason, because it's very far away. The only way to control it is via the central commander control, you know, with these dials and buttons, see? Yeah, so the only way to get used to this is this. And yeah, if you're not used to using all these dials, it might take some time, but yeah, you will learn to use them correctly, and then yeah, that's about it. If you're, like, say, if you're used to touch screens like tablets and whatnot, and then you're moving over to something like consoles, if you're playing video games, that's probably the easiest way to explain this kind of controls for the Mazda CX-30. So we are now at the back seats of the Mazda CX-30. Yeah, it's a bit small in my opinion, but the sitting position is quite nice. So if, let's say, you are a happily married couple with just you and your wife, this would be a perfect car for you. or if you just have like 1 or 2 small children, also a very good car to drive on a daily basis, or just weekend drive to Penang, Johor, or long distance destinations. You only have a couple of aircon vents to play with, a pocket for the passenger seat. No pockets here, however. But yeah, if you're looking for something that is comfortable enough to carry 5 adults, then you might need to look for something that's slightly bigger, might be the CX-5 for example. But if let's say there are only 2 adults sitting up front and maybe a couple of kids at the back, that one is a nice combination. Alright, so we are now driving the Mazda CX-30, and yeah, for all CKD models that were just launched back in March, they all come with the same powertrain right now. It's the 2-liter Skyactiv-G non-aspirated engine that produces 162 horsepower and 213 Newton meters of torque. The transmissions are all the same as well, a 6-speed automatic transmission, and all of them is front-wheel drive. So for the CKD, you won't get the all-wheel drive and you won't get the 1.8 diesel in the lineup lah. So CKD for all variants is the same. So when it comes to the driving impression, I think that it's a good daily driver to have. It's very comfortable to drive, it's very agile, and basically no drama when it comes to, living with it on a daily basis. The other major thing when it comes to owning a Mazda SUV is the agility that you get from the the chassis, the electronics, the suspension. The entire package offers something that is very well balanced, very easy to drive, and again, no drama when it comes to spirited driving, for example. I've experienced this with the CX-5 and a couple of other Mazda SUVs, and I can say the same thing with the CX-30. It's also very comfortable in terms of soundproofing. Even if you're going at speeds of 120, 30, 40 for example, the soundproofing is very, very nice. You might hear a bit of engine and tire noise, but the wind noise is very, very, very minimal. So I think this is probably one of the biggest selling points of owning a Mazda CX-30 long term. Very comfortable to drive, and yeah, the engine, honestly is not the most powerful, nor is it the fastest, but yeah, it gets the job done swiftly. I mean, you won't be complaining that the car is too slow. You won't be complaining that the car is not accelerating hard enough. You get all of this at just the right levels with the Mazda CX-30. The only issue that I have with the Mazda CX-30 is probably the brakes. I mean, don't get me wrong, they function really well, but the pedal itself feels a bit muted. It means that I would prefer if the brake pedals or the brake pedal had a bit more feedback, just to indicate how much that I'm braking, because at a certain level it feels like I'm braking enough, but actually I need to apply a bit more pressure. I think it's slightly different from the other SUVs in the market that I have tried. It's slightly different from, let's say, the CX-5, because I like the brake feel in the CX-5. This one, again, I would prefer a bit more feedback, slightly muted in the CX-30. But yeah, I think if you own the car, you will get used to this feeling. But yeah, it's a bit different from the other cars. If you're interested to get a CX-30 of your very own, you should know that each variant offers something a bit different when it comes to things like safety features. But this one, the High Plus, should be a great enough choice when it comes to a good level of comfort, premiumness, as well as safety features. You get things like the adaptive front light system, you get blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist, and many, many more. However, if you want a CX-30 that feels a bit more spacious when it comes to the interior, as well as some extra added advanced safety features, then you might want to go with the range topping model, which is the High Plus Premium. Now that one comes with a panoramic sunroof, which this one, the High Plus, does not, and also comes with some extra advanced driver assistant features that you don't get with the High Plus as well. But then again, for 146,000 ringgit, the CX-30 High Plus is a great choice. Now, what do you think? Do you think is a good choice for the CX-30, or would you rather get something that is a bit more bigger and with a bit more powerful engine like the CX-5? Comment below and I'll see you again in the next video. Okay? Ciao!